Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet. Damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy. Hold my beer for
Hello, hello, everyone. Thank you all for being here tonight. This is Pinkie, the housewife. And also, I will be carrying this on my second channel, which is Pink Global. I go by Pinkie on both of my channels. Thank you all for being here tonight. I'm going to go ahead and give an update on the Nolan Wells case. All right. Uh, but before we get started, let me just say prayers go out to his family, his mother and his father, and the entire family. Prayers going up for Nolan. All right. Um, Let me go ahead and get the house rules out of the way for you. Welcome to the Pink House, guys. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hitting that like button helps YouTube to send my videos out to more people that may like its content. So by you hitting that like button is or that thumbs up, is letting know YouTube saying I like her commentary, I like her videos. So they'll send them out to more people. And that's good. That's a good thing. Okay. So hit that like button for me. It's free. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Both hitting the like button or thumbs up and subscribing to the channel don't cost a thing. It's free. Thank you guys. And then this is my second channel. I will be putting this on. Okay. Let me go ahead and get started. We're going to be talking about, once again, the update on the Nolan Wells uh, case. It's death threat. His mother has received threatening mail to his mother, and all she wants is answers because she's she's missing her son. Her son didn't come home. Okay, and then we're going to talk about the GPS data that's been released and the conflicting stories. So we're going to get into all of that tonight. All right. Uh, and everybody know this is Nolan. He went away on a trip with these guys here, his so-called friends. I'm going to call them so-called friends now. All right. Let me go ahead and get into it. You know, most people not going to call them so-called friends, but I'm going to call them so-called friends, okay? Because they are so-called friends, and until he can come home, they're going to be called so-called friends. All right. All right. Let me go ahead and get into it for you all. The this is the we're going to talk about the latest update. The Nolan Wells case continues to raise more questions than answers. And tonight we're going to be breaking down the latest developments that help push this investigation into even deeper scrutiny. Nolan Xavier Wells, the 18-year-old Mississippi college freshman who vanished during a July 4th boat trip to Horn Island, was found unalive 2 days later. You think going on a boat trip, 4th of July, is a time where people are celebrating, having fun, and everything. And this young man didn't come home with his friends. Something sounds suspicious. And remember, everything is alleged, and this is my opinion. And the circumstances surrounding his disappearance remain riddled with contradictions. Missing data, growing public um, scrutiny, everything. Okay. Also, one of the most disturbing updates involving threatening messages sent to Nolan's mother, Christine. I guess she pronounced it Christine or Christina. Okay. While she has been publicly demanding transparency, pushing investigators and calling out inconsistencies, she also been receiving hostile and intimidating communications. Somebody don't want her to get to the truth. Somebody, in my opinion, they don't want the truth to come out. Yes. And just my thinking. It's just me, maybe, in my opinion. Somebody don't want the truth to come out. Adding emotional pressure to a family already fighting for answers. These threats underscore the racial tension and national attention surrounding this case, especially given that Nolan was the only Black teen among the group of white friends he traveled with on that island on July the 4th. Another major, oh, let me just see, before I do anything else, it, his mother talks about those threats, and we're going to listen to a video about that, okay? Another major development centers around Nolan's cell phone and GPS data. The family has long suspected that messages was deleted from his phone before it was returned to them. Attorney Ben Crump and the family have now agreed to work with the district attorney's office to inspect the phone's content, including the GPS information that could help reconstruct Nolan's final movement on Horn Island. The DA has committed to presenting the case to a grand jury once the investigation is complete, signaling that the digital evidence, including locating data, will play a critical role. Okay. Let me go ahead and let y'all listen to this. Okay. This video. This is about the threats. Okay. Threats that his mother is receiving now. She is receiving these threats. And I think somebody just wanted to intimidate her, trying to get her to shut up. But sometime, okay, we're going to go ahead and play it. Okay, here we go, guys. The information to this video will be down in the description box below my video. And this was Moded X. All right, here we go. Now, we may not play the entire video, okay?
Everything is so heavy. Just been going through the motions.
Before we get started, let me just take this down because it's already there, okay? Here we go.
You know, I'm a healthcare provider, so I talk about grief a lot. And now to be on the other side of this is, it's a lot. So I lost my mom a few years ago, and that was hard. This loss, this grief, this pain, it's different. It's insurmountable.
Family of Nolan Wells, they're preparing to lay their 18-year-old son to rest. Wells was found dead on July 6th in the waters off Mississippi's Horn Island, where he'd been celebrating the 4th of July holiday with friends. Now, 2 weeks later, his family is finalizing funeral plans.
There were hundreds of people out there. You've seen the video and the photographs. How somebody did not see him is pretty shocking to me, especially if he left one group that knows him to go with another group that clearly knows him. I don't understand how he got separated from everybody that he knows. It is early. They are actively still talking to people. They are gathering, photographic evidence and video evidence from people that were there. Even if I did not know him, if I'm just taking a video of the whole crowd, I could have captured him.
Someone mailed Christine Wansley a photograph, not a card, not flowers, A photograph of her standing at a press conference with her husband grieving her 18-year-old son, with arrows drawn from Reverend Al Sharpton and attorney Ben Crump's eyes toward her face and dollar signs sketched in beside them. No return address, just an accusation mailed directly to a mother's home, implying she's profiting off her own son's death. Her response, posted publicly: "Whoever sent this to my home, may the good Lord have mercy on your soul." Then 4 words that have already been shared thousands of times: "Please go touch grass." Tomorrow, Christine buries that son. Reverend Sharpton will deliver the eulogy. Hundreds are expected to fill Centerpoint Church in Ocean Springs. That's not the only development since we last covered this case. New GPS data has surfaced, showing a 30-minute gap between the moment Nolan's group reported their boat was taking on water and the moment they actually left the island without him. A crime scene investigator whose work cases involving Tupac Shakur and the Zodiac Killer has gone on national television to say, in her own words, that it's pretty shocking. Nobody in a crowd of hundreds saw what happened to him. And Nolan's own friend has pushed back publicly, saying this case is being spun into a narrative that isn't there. This is Motive X, and this is everything that's happened since our last update. Starting with the hate mail a grieving mother shouldn't have had to open the day before her son's funeral. Subscribe before you go. Let's get into it. Almost 2 weeks after Nolan's body was found, someone had sent an anonymous piece of mail directly to her home. Inside was a printed photograph, the same widely circulated image of Christine and her husband Elmore at a press conference with Reverend Al Sharpton and Ben Crump standing behind them, hands on their shoulders in a gesture of support. Whoever sent it had drawn arrows from Sharpton and Crump's eyes toward Christine's face, and next to those arrows, multiple dollar signs, a crude, wordless accusation that the grief on display in that photo was somehow manufactured, that a mother standing next to her advocates was really just a woman cashing in. Christine didn't stay silent about it. "Whoever sent this to my home, may the good Lord have mercy on your soul," she wrote, alongside a photo of the hate mail itself. Bold enough to send this crap, but not bold enough to list your return address. She went further, naming exactly what this represents. This is America, where a grieving mother and father have to deal with this type of behavior because we asked a simple question of what happened to our son and accepted all the help we could get to find answers. Please go touch some grass. Notice this: Christine didn't send that message from a place of anger alone. Days earlier, she posted an emotional video describing the specific weight of this loss, saying everything is so heavy that she felt like
Guys, now I do have that video too. So if we have time, we'll listen to that video as well. But yes, she will be laying her son to rest. His funeral is tomorrow, which is Monday the 20th. All right, guys. And we will be carrying I will be showing the full funeral, and just hope I get up in time.
there was an elephant just sitting on my chest. As a healthcare provider herself, she said she talks about grief professionally all the time. And that being on the receiving end of it now, compounded by hate mail arriving at her own front door, is a version of pain she wasn't prepared for, even with every simple question of what happened to our son, and accepted all the help we could get to find answers. Please go touch some grass. Notice this: Christine didn't send that message from a place of anger alone. Days earlier, she posted an emotional video describing the specific weight of this loss, saying everything is so heavy that she felt like there was an elephant just sitting.
Okay, we already heard that. So I'm going to go ahead and take this down, since we already heard that. But let me just say one thing before I play that other video, this video here of her. Okay. And another development centers around Nolan's cell phone and GPS data. The family has long suspected that messages was deleted from his phone before it was returned to them. And we already talked about that. And let me say, the DA has committed to presenting the case to a grand jury once the investigation is complete, signaling that the digital evidence, including location data, will play a critical role. But even with the phone under review, the biggest issue remains the conflicting stories about what happened on that island. Okay. Friends have given different accounts about whether Nolan planned to stay behind to talk to a girl or someone that he's interested in. The girl even made a comment as well. She made her own comment and everything. And it's different than what his friend said. It's totally different. Okay. Okay. Now Nolan planned to, like they saying, Nolan planned to stay and talk to this girl or intended to leave with them. Who is them? So some say he told them to go ahead without him. But if he's the type of child that teenager that his mom and dad said he is, you go together, you come home together. You don't just go off with other people without your cell phone, without your car keys. So when you without your car or your car keys, if you did make it back to the off the island, and how would you get home from there? Because they all gone. So, and what teenager walks around without their cell phone? That don't make any sense to me. Teenagers always got their cell phone tied to them, tied to their hip. Okay. Okay. But they was just saying he said go on without him. To dispute that entirely, the family rejects the idea that Nolan, an elite athlete and strong swimmer, simply drowned accidentally. That didn't make no sense to me either, because I know um, strong swimmers. My kids are strong swimmers, and I can't see them drowning. Okay, but you know how they say, black people can't swim. That's a lie. That's a lie. Even when you can swim, you're excellent swimmer, they still claim that you drowned. Okay, so it's just in my opinion. Okay, they're commissioned an independent autopsy and are pushing for witnesses and video evidence to come forward. Then the investigation is further complicated by Mississippi racial history. I know Mississippi. Oh Lord. Okay, and the community's distrust of law enforcement. Even though the sheriff's office claimed that Nolan's friends are cooperating and that foul play is not suspected, the family legal team says those same friends now have lawyers and have not spoken with their investigators. That contradicts alone has fueled public speculations and intensified calls for transparency. Wait now, let me get this together. They're cooperating. I didn't know they was cooperating. That's news to me. But tonight we're going to walk through the timeline, the inconsistencies, the digital evidence, and the unanswered questions because the Wells family deserves clarity and they deserves the truth. Okay? They do. Okay, let's go ahead and get this video up. This one here. This is crime with MR Story, Mr. Story, I guess. Okay. I didn't have no idea that they was cooperating. I thought they all got lawyered up. Somebody is lying. Somebody is just lying their little tail off. But it's just my opinion. But somebody's lying to me. That's what I think. Okay. Yes, I do. Now, this information will be down in my description box below my video. Yeah, but you all say my voice sounds terrible. I know. I know it sounds bad. Now, we may not play the whole thing,
over this case with no story attached to it. Katie, the young woman Nolan Wells was last seen talking to on Horn Island. Tonight, her family has broken its silence. Her account is finally on the record, and it collides head-on with a story his friends told. According to Katie, through her family's public statement and her cooperation with investigators, Nolan told her he was heading back to rejoin his friends on their boat. According to those friends, Nolan said the opposite, that he was choosing to stay behind with her. Both of those sentences cannot be true. Someone's memory of an 18-year-old's final known plan is wrong, and his parents have to bury him tomorrow morning without knowing whose. But here is what changed this week. For the first time, there is a witness in this case with no memory, no loyalty, and no version of events. A machine. GPS tracking data from the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources, obtained by CBS News, now maps every movement of that boat on the 4th of July, down to the minute. When it left, when it reached the island, the moment, at 4:31 in the afternoon, when it pulled away.
Now, you all see that this is the GPS boat data. July the 4th, 9:56 a.m., boat leaves Horn Island. 11:14 a.m., arrives at Island. 4:31 p.m., leaves from Horn Island. 6:06 p.m., boat returns to dock. Boat owner cooperating with the investigators. You better take that with a grain of salt. Okay.
Without Nolan Wells on board. And the 4 separate movements it made after that, a sequence ending with the boat out of the water entirely, on land, at a residence in Biloxi, before the night was over. That record does not care whose story is convenient. So tonight we lay it against both accounts, minute by minute, along with a grand jury commitment, a phone inspection finally agreed, and a 90-minute gap that nobody has explained. It starts with the name. For most of this case, Katie existed as a single syllable inside other people's stories. Nolan's friends mentioned her. The family's attorneys referenced her. The internet, being the internet, invented 100 versions of her. What almost nobody had was her actual account, and the reason her silence lasted this long makes more sense once you remember how her name entered this story in the first place. It entered on the worst night of Christine Wansley's life, when the call came that Nolan had not returned from Horn Island. The explanation his mother received involved a girl Nolan had supposedly wanted to stay behind with, a girl nobody in the group could fully identify. And then, stacked on top of a mother's panic, came something worse. Word that this girl might be missing too. Picture that arithmetic. 1 child unaccounted for on a barrier island, and suddenly, possibly 2. The second one with no last name, no number to call, no family to reach. That second fear at least dissolved. Katie was never missing. She had left Horn Island safely that same day, on a different boat, by her family's account picked up by her own parents, and she had been reachable the entire time. The person who finally put that on the record was not law enforcement and not Nolan's friends. It was a member of Katie's own family, Gracie McCormack, who posted publicly once speculation about the young woman began spreading in ways her family never asked for. And the McCormack family's statement did more than correct a rumor. It laid out Katie's side of that afternoon. She was on Horn Island. She spent time with Nolan. The two parted ways. And here is the sentence that turned a footnote into the center of this case. By her family's account, Katie assumed that the friends who were telling Nolan to get on the boat would never actually leave without him. She said goodbye believing he had a ride home. Her family says she has no knowledge of anything that happened to him afterward, that she has been in contact with Nolan's family, that she is cooperating with law enforcement, and that they have given, in their words, all the answers we can give. And notice the exact wording her family chose, because it carries something easy to miss. By their phrasing, Katie assumed the friends who were telling Nolan to get on the boat would not leave without him, telling him to get on the boat. If that phrasing is accurate, and it is the family's own, offered publicly, then in Katie's memory of that goodbye, the friends were urging Nolan aboard, which sits uneasily beside the other account in this case, the one in which Nolan flatly told those same friends he was staying. That tension is observation, not accusation. A single sentence in a family's statement is not testimony. And no investigator has publicly weighed it. But it is on the record now, and a grand jury may one day read it. Now set her account beside the other one, because this is the collision the whole case turns on. Attorney Ben Crump, representing the Wells family, says Katie's version has been specific and has not wavered. Nolan told her he was planning to get back on his friend's boat before it left. The friend's version, as it has been described to investigators, is the mirror opposite. Nolan told them he wanted to stay on the island with her, by his own choice, in his own words. Hold both of those in your hands for a second. If Katie is right, then Nolan's plan was to leave, and something happened between his stated intention and the boat pulling away without him. Something nobody has explained. If the friends are right, then Nolan deliberately chose to stay alone on a remote barrier island as his only ride home departed, which opens an entirely different set of questions about the hours that followed.
And to me, that don't make any sense. That's his only ride back, and he chose to stay. Um, These people be stretching. Let me just say this, just in case. Before I forget, Nolan's funeral is Monday, which is tomorrow, July the 20th, at Point Church in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, with visitation from 9 to 11 a.m. The service immediately follows afterwards. Reverend R. Al Sharpton will officiate, and Tyler Perry is covering the funeral expenses for the family. A celebration of life will follow at the Jackson County Fairgrounds for family, friends, and teammates, and visited media. So tomorrow we will be covering everything. I'm going to try to make sure I get up in time. All right, guys.
There is no third option. One of these two accounts of an 18-year-old's last known decision is wrong, and as of this recording, nobody with the authority to resolve it has done so. His parents live inside that unresolved space now. Grief has a shape. It is the loss of a person. This is something crueler layered on top. The loss of even knowing your son's final choice. And spare one honest minute for the other side of this collision, because there is a second family living inside this case who never volunteered for it. Katie McCormack is a young woman who went to an island on a holiday, talked with a young man, said goodbye, and went home. And within days, her first name was a national search term. Her family's statement exists, remember, only because online speculation about her spread in ways they never expected and never invited. Since then, childhood friends have publicly come to the family's defense, pushing back against strangers passing judgment on people they have never met. Whatever the eventual answer in this case turns out to be, nothing in the public record accuses Katie of anything. By every account, including the Wells family's own legal team, she has done exactly one thing: told investigators what she remembers, consistently, from the beginning. That is why you will not hear her age, her school, or anything from her social media in this coverage. Her account matters to this case. Her life outside it is not ours to mind. What her account did, though, the moment it went on the record, was force a question that had been avoidable for 2 weeks. Because once her version existed in public, side by side with the friend's version, everyone could finally see that the two do not fit. And into exactly that standoff, this week, arrived the one participant in this story that does not give accounts at all. While that contradiction sits with you, if you are following this case, tap the like button and drop your city in the comments.
All right, guys, please leave a comment. We're not going to listen to all of that, but I do wish you all would leave a comment and drop your city in the comments as well. Tell me how you feel about this whole case. All right. And we're going to go for now, but we will be covering his funeral tomorrow. Okay. All right, guys. I will be going live tomorrow with that. And hope my voice sounds a lot better. Okay. All right. Thank you, guys.